Hi, I'm Vince George for DTMMB Media. This is episode 2 of Not Safe for Work Reviews. I'm going to review today How Did This Get Made podcast. Podcast. What the f*** are they? It's not radio, though it's close, I guess. It's sure as shit not TV. No moving pictures at all, so what the hell? Well, they've been around for a while, and they've been called such since 2004 when some at The Guardian called them that. What a clever guy was. He had several other terms to call it, but with the iPod out and popular, he used pod, and this terminology stuck. Lucky us. Every so often you'll hear some person say how it will replace some other bullshit media. But personally, I think it's got a comfortable place among those too busy to use their eyeballs. Podcasts have grown on me lately, like a pimple on my ass. And I like to listen in my car or while I'm working. No, I really do work sometimes, you Watching Netflix for some reason is frowned upon in both those places, so I listen to podcasts. The show that really hooked me was one that the subject matter was watching movies and ragging on them called How Did This Get Made? I've done this very shtick with DTMMB Media co-founder Chris. We've done that for years now, so naturally I had an interest right off the bat. Produced by Scott Aukerman of the previously reviewed comedy Bang Bang and Jeff Ulrich's Earwolf Network, it's hosted by Paul Scheer, you know him as Andre on the League, June Diane Raphael, comedian, actor, and Paul's wife, and Jason Mantzoukas, who's also on the League as Rafi. Funny mother. Speaking of the League, which I think is great, by the way, what in the hell is the FXX network? I can't figure it out. I don't even know where it is. Anyway, the podcast generally goes over the plot of a movie, which is usually bullshit, and does their best to deconstruct and explain it. Since the movie typically sucks, this can prove difficult at times. Sometimes they just give up trying to figure it all out. Often it's pretty insightful, though, and pretty hilarious. I'm personally a fan of Jason's take on the movies, and literally his catchphrases. But all three have their moments. Paul kind of guides the show, he plays clips and keeps them on point, while Jason has more of a what the perspective. June, well, she goes deeper looking into things. My favorite bit is when they're watching the visual vomit that is Street Fighter the movie, when June wants to know, what exactly is a Street Fighter? She continues to go back to this query to hilarious results.
Quick question, and I may be revealing too much about myself, but what exactly, and I think you answered it a couple minutes ago, but what exactly is a Street Fighter?
Okay, so, like, there's
I don't know.
it's like underground... It's like underground fighting.
Exactly is a street fighter.
Like, did you ever see Bloodsport? That's like a legitimate sort of underground fighting. Van Damme was also in that.
It's like
there's
Fight Club, but like it's like Fight Club.
there's
Right?
an underground fighting ring.
It's like dog fighting with humans.
There are times when they actually like a movie, taking somewhat of my approach and asking if the movie was entertaining. If it was, they'll give a pass to some of the more f***ed up plot points and acting in the movie. A good example is when they do the Fast and Furious movies, which I also love like a bastard. And the Crank movies with Jason Statham, a guy I just maybe gay for. That's another great thing about the show. They don't just indiscriminately hate movies, and even say so in their theme song.
Now it's time for How Did This Get Made? We're gonna have a good time, celebrate some failure, not just be a hater. Cause you know you wonder, how did this get made? Let's wallow in the mediocrity of subpar art. Perhaps we'll find the answer to the question, how did this get made?
Then Paul starts out with, "Hello, people of Earth." Jesus, I'm not going to do the whole show. Calm the down, alright? And if you notice in the lyrics, they said they're going to celebrate some failure, not just be a hater, which I think is a kind of a good motto. You know, don't just hate on it. Actually dig into it and explain why it sucks so bad. Seriously, though, I love this goddamn show. I could pick out any hilarious episode, but I do particularly like the one that has Kevin Smith on it. He's got some great inside Hollywood stories, like that crazy-ass John Peters, who started off as Barbra Streisand's hairdresser and became a Hollywood producer, famously being involved with Nicolas Cage's Superman movie that thank the was never made. Peters also apparently has a thing for big-ass spiders, which is kind of weird. Alright, heads, listen up. I like this show enough that it's one of the driving forces behind trying to do podcasts in the first place. It's 100% inspiration for our infinitely shittier version, Don't Tell Me My Business About Bad Movies. Now, I know there's no chance that we can live up to How Did This Get Made success, but it's fun to do. Luckily, I'm not hanging my hat on that bullshit, and I'm branching out, such as this spectacular shitfest of a review. They're also the reason I like SoundCloud, where we host our podcast at soundcloud.com/DTMMB-media. Check their shit out and our golden nuggets in the church as well. Have I convinced you to check it out yet? No? Well, shit, man, I'll embed another show below. You won't have to lift a goddamn finger if you came here, except just to hit play. If you're listening to the podcast review, you're just going to have to use your imagination, alright? Now, let's get on to the scoring. Clarity. I'm going to give it a 24 out of 37. But it's a compressed MP3, I guess, which means, up the quality a tad. Metaphorically speaking, entertaining as a Singapore Hooters. Hey, I had fun there, though my wife didn't. Funny factor, astronomical, with the emphasis on ass. Movie selection, I give it a Tyler Perry out of Adam Sandler. Beer, currently empty. So this is yet another winner in my book. So fire up your favorite podcasting app. Don't just rely on iTunes, you little and listen to it. Then you can thank me later. See you next time.
This has been a Don't Tell Me My Business Media production.
Keep that dog quiet!